All right, we want to take you live to the House of Commons where the Prime Minister is commenting. Today, the first anniversary of that fatal shooting that killed 6 Muslim men in Quebec City. Let's listen in here for a moment.
We chose love over hatred, compassion over violence, solidarity over division. Together, we showed that we lived up to the values that are at the heart of the Canadian identity. We showed our best light despite the darkness of that day. 1 year ago, we paid tribute to the memory of those who left us too early. We showed solidarity with the Muslim community, who all too often is the target of hatred.
Mr. Speaker, as we mark this somber anniversary and remember the extraordinary courage of ordinary people, I believe we must ask ourselves, have we done right by the men who lost their lives on this day 1 year ago? When the dust began to settle and it began to be business as usual once again, did we stand with neighbors and strangers who were targeted by hate? I ask not only the members of this House, but all Canadians. Have we regularly condemned everyday acts of racism like we so forcefully did just 1 year ago? Have we defended the freedom of others, whether it be to pray, to love, or to simply be, like we would our own? Mr. Speaker, these attacks sought to divide this country and its citizens, drive wedges between neighbors, and make enemies of strangers. Sadly, the same can be said of hate crimes and other isolated incidents of discrimination that far too often go unnoticed or unreported. Things like graffiti and slurs have become commonplace, normalized, and even tolerated. The loss of life should not and cannot be a necessary condition for acts of hatred to merit our attention. Tragedy should not and cannot become a prerequisite for us to have important conversations in our homes and in our schools. It should never have come to this point for attitudes to be changed and for changes to be made. We cannot bring back those who perished, but we owe it to them to fight the very sentiments that led to their loss. We owe it to them to speak up and stand tall and explicitly against Islamophobia and discrimination in all its forms. Chaque jour,
Day, we can and we must honor those who left us too soon and their values. In the face of ignorance, let us choose compassion. In the face of hatred, let us choose love. Together, let us stand up against Islamophobia and all forms of discrimination. Let us not allow fear to settle into our hearts. Let us not allow racism to take root in our society. Together, let us continue to make our diversity our strength and our differences our source of pride. Every day, let us pay tribute to Khaled Belkacemi, Azzedine Soufiane, Abdelkrim Hassan, Abu Bakr Tabi, Mamadou Tanoubari, and Ibrahim Abari. Let us show that Canadians will not be intimidated by violence or hatred. Not today, nor tomorrow, nor ever. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.